Who are 5 of the most relatable anglers out there? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. Who are 5 of the most relatable anglers out there right now? Let me say first and foremost, don't kill the messenger on this one. I thought about this for really a long time, and there are going to be anglers maybe that you don't agree with me and that you do agree with me. But I looked at this from a criteria of what is going on in the industry right now. I am not kissing anyone's behind. I'm just trying to keep it real. What makes a relatable professional angler and why? Now I'm going to read this because I wrote it down. I believe a relatable angler is one who's honest, family-oriented, humble, speaks his mind, doesn't have a giant ego, and is down to earth. I think you can tell when somebody is being fake. That's just the truth. If someone gets on their podcast or their vlog or their video and they talk about themselves, they talk about how great they are, how great everything they've done is, I think that comes across as fake a lot of times. I think it comes off as someone who's really into their own ego more than they are being humble and honest and truthful. And I think being humble in this industry and sport and hobby is really important. Now I'm going to give you 5 or 6 anglers that I feel like are extremely friendly, they're relatable, and they're really good people. And I've done videos just recently where I've done they're unrelatable or unlikable. And I didn't give any names out because I was just trying to create or put out a video on where I think the industry and the community is with people that are really unrelatable. There's very few anglers that are unrelatable and unlikable, but they all have the same common flaws where these 5 or 6 anglers do not. Now my number 1 is John Cox. Now John Cox is one of those anglers I believe we all can relate to. He is amazing. John runs an aluminum boat, which I think many fans appreciate. He doesn't use forward-facing sonar. He's quiet, he's humble, he's always positive, and he's always smiling. He really does a lot of things right. He keeps things simple, and he uses that old school mentality. I believe John is one of those anglers that a majority of the fans really relate to because of his humble beginnings to where he is now and just the way he holds himself. My number 2 is Justin Lucas. Now Justin is very family oriented. He is a great communicator. I actually believe he has the best voice in fishing. He's honest, he's upfront, he's open about his life as a pro in the good times and the bad times. He's never blaming someone else for maybe having a bad tournament. He puts it on his shoulders himself. He's not only a great pro, he's a great husband, and he's an incredible dad. And Justin is one of those anglers you just can't say anything bad about. He doesn't have controversy follow him. He doesn't stir up controversy. He has an old school mentality of how he's going to be as a professional. And to be honest, Justin is one of the great guys in this industry. Number 3 is Brandon Palaniuk. Now, Brandon's story of how he started in fishing and living in his truck to where he is now is something that every angler can relate to. He doesn't have an ego. His channel and his videos are raw, and they're great fishing. He's a family man now, and he also shares his ups and downs in fishing. But I think the biggest thing that makes Brandon relatable is how he performs and how he is always there for the fans and the people in fishing. Not to mention, maybe you don't know this, but he stays at every elite event till it's over with, where most anglers leave after they're done or after, they don't qualify for the next round or whatever it is. Brandon sticks it out with his family and his cameraman, and he does extra work and he does interviews, but he stays there to make sure that he can say congratulations to the winner. get on stage, take a picture. And it's those humble things that Brandon does that makes him extremely relatable to the fans. And I appreciate that. My next one, even though I just read a comment of somebody that didn't have a good experience with him, and I apologize, is Keith Pouchet. Now, Keith is relatable because he uses a small boat that goes anywhere. Just literally, he'll take it anywhere. His Off the Grid series is fantastic. There have been issues with him in drama, but I think a lot of people relate to Keith because the way he speaks, the way he has his accent, that when he's in front of the camera, he's open about everything, the good and the bad. Now, like I said, drama has followed Keith in a lot of instances over the last few years, but I also think that makes him relatable to a lot of fans. We're not all perfect, let's be honest. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. But to be honest, and I'm not sure he's apologized to people for some of the things, but he just comes off as very relatable to me. I think he also is relatable because he isn't really tech savvy. You don't see him using forward-facing sonar. You see him fishing the traditional way. I think that helps the fans' interaction or the fans feel about him. And he's gritty, and he's honest, and he speaks out, and he stands behind his beliefs. And Keith is an angler that many fans appreciate, respect, and root for. Now, my 5 and 6, I think is going to surprise some people. And I say this with all due respect. 5, I have as a tie between these two anglers. And those two anglers are Seth Feider and Matt Robertson. I think both these guys are two fan favorites. Both are rugged. There's no fluff. They're authentic. They don't act polished. They're funny at times. They're down to earth. And I believe a majority of fans relate to both of them. And I think the fans really appreciate that both are very unapologetic. You can like them or dislike them. They really don't care, which kind of makes them relatable. And they shoot it straight, even though at times they might catch some heat for it. But I've always felt like Matt's relatable. And I know Seth is, because they both just come across as good old down-to-earth people. But they're both, Seth and Matt, both come across as very relatable to a lot of fans. Who are some of the anglers you think are relatable, and why? Comment below and tell me what you think. Are my 5 or 6 guys completely messed up? You can be honest and tell me, because honestly, Matt's a tough one for me to put in here. But he is relatable. The way he lives, the way he portrays himself, and just being himself makes him relatable to a lot of fans that love bass fishing. Maybe not to me all the time, but I do see it. What do you think? Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all of you subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. It's humbling and it's a great experience. But I might be crazy on this one, so comment below and tell me what you think. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.